Hey guys, it's Yishan here. Today I am bringing you guys my Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade, another deck profile, but this time it has Jack in the Hand in it, which a lot of my viewers have been requesting. It is similar to the Rescue Cat deck profile I posted earlier, and a lot of the combos are similar. However, a lot of people want to know how to play with Jack in the Hand, what my Jack in the Hand build looks like, what sort of options do I pick when I activate Jack in the Hand, and all that's going to be answered in this deck profile. But before we get into it, make sure that you please consider subscribing. When I put out deck profiles, I want them to be high quality. I make sure they're high quality, something that I would actually play at a high level of competition myself, especially for a deck like this. So yeah, please consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. But without further ado, let's get to the deck. So we're going to start off again with our Lyrilusc engine, and originally I was playing more Lyriluscs, but I'm still sticking with a 3-2-1 lineup. I think in the Jack in the Hand version, you need to play at least 2 Cobalt Sparrow, and I'll get into the reason for that, why, later when I talk about Jack in the Hand. But 3-2-1's a pretty good ratio. You only need 1 Sapphire Swallow. You can always go up more if you want to play less hand traps. But I feel like this is a fine ratio, and Jack in the Hand works well with these guys more than the Rescue Cat version does. So if you really like the Lyriluscs, definitely try this version out. So I went down to 1 King of Bayou. Now, I've been seeing this a lot recently too, and you only need 1 King of Bayou, especially with the Jack in the Hand. And now that we've got so many other cards competing for spots, King of Bayou was just an easy target to cut. And with Jack in the Hand, you really only need 1 King of Bayou. So you just need it there because it's your normal summon when you offer it with Jack in the Hand. If you draw it, it's fine. It's not really a brick. It's still pretty useful, but a really cool card and a great extender. And then we've got 3 Fractal, 3 Nerval, and 3 Karis. In my opinion, you still have to go for this route, especially the Karis. I see people not maining 3. You can side 1 out in siding, but it's just a general all-purpose extender. And in a real game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Real match where your opponent's trying to interact with you, Karis always comes in clutch, and it's needed for a lot of combos. And if you open Karis, it can make a lot of your combo lines easier, makes you very Ash resistant, that sort of thing. Fractal is just your combo starter, or Nerval just works so well with the deck, being able to search and being a level 1 winged beast as well. So definitely play all of those. In the Lyrilusc, or in the more Jack in the Hand version, you can play 1 kit. You can play 2. However, I'm trying to keep my deck at 40, and 1 is all you need. You can search it anytime you want. You have some targets to dump in this deck, but Kit works the worst on her own. All the other Tri-Brigades usually work a little bit better. And so you're sort of searching her and using her to combo, or using her to start your plays if you need like a good Tri-Brigade normal summon. But she's really powerful, and I enjoy it, but you only actually need 1 in the deck right now. And so that way we have more room for other things. So for example, like hand traps, we run 3 Ash Blossom, just the best hand trap. 3 DD Crow, I'm still playing this in this deck. I thought about changing 2 of them out for a different hand trap like Droll, and that's something you could certainly do, because you only need 1 DD Crow because it's searchable. You could definitely try Droll, you could definitely try a different hand trap, but I've just found that these hand traps work so well in the main deck, along with the 3 Gamma and the 1 Driver. They just work so well. They're those standard hand traps. They're always going to work. There are matchups where DD Crow isn't good, but then at least it's a Tri-Beast. So it can be used for a bunch of extenders and stuff. And, I can't count how the number of times that, I have Droll, I'm like, man, I wish this was a Tri-Beast. I mean, if Droll and Lockbird was a Tri-Beast, like Wing Beast, Wing Beast, unfortunately, it's a spellcaster, it would be seeing a lot of play in this deck. But yeah, so that is that. Still a pretty standard hand trap lineup. I'm not messing with what's not broken, basically, is what I'm saying. So that's that. Then we run 2 targets for our Simorglink. We've got our 1 Apex Avian, our 1 Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Both, just fantastic cards, and killers in a lot of rogue matchups or decks that can't quite deal with the Barrier Statue. And Avian's very good as a follow-up, or really good in a simplified game state. Okay, so let's go to the spells. We're going to talk about the main spell that really separates this build from the Rescue Cat build, and that is Triple Jack in the Hand. Now, this card is a very interesting card, and a lot of people, I think, sort of know how to use it basically, but want to know how to use it more and that sort of thing. So I'm actually going to go over my tips with Jack in the Hand. So definitely pay attention to this part of the video. I think it's going to be super important. Okay, so let's talk about Jack in the Hand. When you activate Jack in the Hand, there is a very standard package you can present your opponent, right? So you present your opponent with 3 level 1s, they choose one of them to add to their hand, you choose one for yourself, and the one goes back into the deck. Okay, so the 3 most common ones that you're going to offer, or what I call the standard package for Jack in the Hand, is a Turquoise Warbler, a Kinkabayu, and a Nerval. Okay, this is like your standard thing to offer, because if you have a Fractal in your hand, you will be able to send a Cobalt Sparrow to the graveyard, and either combo, even if they take the Warbler, you'll be able to add the Kinkabayu, and if they take the Nerval for some reason, or the Kinkabayu, you can add the Warbler. Okay, so that's like a standard package. You're going to see people, you're going to be offering this a large percentage of the time to your opponents. However, there are some tricks with this card, and you don't want to just activate it on autopilot. So if you already have a Warbler in your hand, I like to offer this sometimes, because you offer a Warbler, Cobalt, Kinkabayu, your opponent's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to take Warbler, so they take Warbler, you add the Cobalt Sparrow into your hand, and you're able to proceed into your full combo, right? But what's really cool about this is that players might outpsych themselves. So if you really need like a Warbler, for example, I like to offer this package because it scares your opponent. So like I was saying earlier in the deck profile, you actually want to have 2 Cobalt Sparrows, because if your opponent takes Cobalt Sparrow, you don't want to be like out of the game here. So it's fine. You can just add like another Warbler to your hand, or a Kinka, or whatever you want. But I think it's a good idea to try to trick your opponent, like to try to get a Warbler into your hand sometimes, if you actually really need a Warbler. So this is a package I like to offer a lot. One thing that I also don't see people doing is offering DD Crow. Now, DD Crow isn't great, but for example, you can offer DD Crow in a hand like this as well. Like for example, if you open a Warbler Sparrow, it's actually possible to offer DD Crow. Now, I'm not saying you should do this all the time, but like in the middle of the game, if you're not too worried about DD Crow, but you really need to add something to your hand, you can offer DD Crow a lot of the time. You have to be very careful offering DD Crow, but it is something you should consider, because you're trying to give your opponent a hard time. And actually, one of the best times to offer DD Crow is when you need one yourself, because if you need one yourself, then your opponent like might take it out of necessity, and you can add like a Warbler to your hand and maybe go into like some Zeus plays or something like that, right? So you want to just think very carefully when you offer your opponent. But definitely, I would say the 2 main packages are that one, but definitely consider offering a package, something like this to try to trip up your opponent, and like, oh, maybe they're missing the Sparrow, right? So maybe I'm going to offer the Warbler this time. Maybe they're not missing the Sparrow. Should I just take the, it makes you a little bit harder on your opponent, and every once in a while, you can actually get the piece that you need. Otherwise, you can just get like a decent piece, but you definitely want to play those mind games with your opponent if you're playing the Jack in the Hand. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to talk about. I think people don't know too much about Jack in the Hand offerings, and they usually always take the standard offering, which is the Warbler, Kinka, and the Nerval, or just always use the standard offering, or don't know the standard offering. So definitely mix it up a little bit, and, experiment around. Jack in the Hand's a really cool card, really fun. So it's definitely worth trying some things out. But okay, that's enough for Jack in the Hand. Let's talk about the rest of the deck. There's not that much left in the mid deck. We've got 3 Fire Formation Tenki, which is just the best to search Fractal, because Fractal is super strong. And then we've got some staples. We've got Foolish, which I like playing now with Kit in the deck. It just adds an extra layer of flexibility. The 1-for-1, the Call by the Grave, the Tri-Brigade Rendezvous, and then of course the Tri-Brigade Oath. If you haven't seen, these 2 are used a lot in my combo video, which you should check out. They're up here and in the description as well. So definitely try that out. Really interesting combos you can do with these 2, and they're not even that bad on their own. So using these cards, by themselves, like Tri-Brigade Oath can special back like a statue or Apex Avion, and Rendezvous can do some tricks in the damage step. So yeah, that is that. Side deck, of course, you just want to tailor to your local meta, so I'm just going to go pretty quickly. I'm playing 3 Droll, 3 Lancia, very good. Dark some more for those back row decks, some more stuff for back row decks, 2 Lightning Storm, a Red Reboot, Harpy's Feather Duster, and then one thing I have been liking, and a lot of people have been liking recently, is the Harpy's Feather Storm. It's just super good when you're going first, and you're able to just activate this card and stun your opponent for an entire turn. So even if you as long as you can end on the bird, the Link 3 some more, and you have this, you're gonna win the game. It's unbeatable basically by any deck that's running a lot of monster effects, because you're gonna get 2 Samorg, activations, and everything's going to be fine and dandy. So that's that. And then we've got one Imperial Order as well to side in going first. So that is the side deck, but again, tailor that to your local meta. Extra deck remains unchanged. I've tried swapping things out, but this is just the most consistent. We've got 2 Ferrojet, 1 Rugal, 2 Shiraig. You don't need 2 Ferrojet, but it comes up so often in games. And then Shiraig, you use one a lot in your combo, and then a lot of times you need a second one to follow up to kill your opponent. So definitely would recommend 2 Shiraig. And then we're going to still go with the Link Karibo for one of our Link ones. You can use Almirage, but I've found that Link Karibo just happens and tends to be better. You know, there's not really much to say about it. It's just, I think it comes up more often than Almirage does. Double Dragon Lord, super good in this deck. A way for interruption, like you can make it under statue because it's wind. Conductor, the Wind Winged Beast, it has a lot of great combos. Desperate Doom Eagle, another Wind Winged Beast that you can summon under the barrier statue and has a lot of relevant effects. And then we've got Samorg and Appaloosa, just like great combo pieces, great negate starters. I mean, if you can get this to live for like a few turns, you're going to win the duel. And then for our Exceeds, I play 1 Recital Starling, 1 Assembled Nightingale, and 1 Zeus. You could play the Downward Magician. In fact, I actually might recommend playing the Downward Magician, you know, in this deck because there's not as much stuff. I do want to say though, like for some extra text in the deck, a lot of people are asking about Pot of Prosperity. Can you play Pot of Prosperity in this deck? The answer is absolutely yes. I would recommend if you play Pot of Prosperity that you definitely play Omega, because a lot of times you are going to get drolled on that Pot of Prosperity. And so it's probably still a good idea to play Omega. So the answer is yes, you can play Pot of Prosperity. A lot of you guys might be asking, what would you banish? I mean, it depends on your hand, but like if you're going first, a lot of times you can banish a little bit of the Zeus package, maybe one of the Link 3s. You don't have to go for 6. A lot of times, in fact, you'll just go for 3. So Pot of Prosperity is definitely something worth checking out if you have the funds. I just don't have the card right now, and it's not necessary, so don't worry about that at all. So yeah, the Omega is a little weird. It could be a downer, but you know, I like the just the go for it. Like you're just gonna go for it and hope that it works out. So you know, that's what I like. But you're welcome to do whatever you want. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I know it was pretty similar to my last one, but I hope you guys learned a thing or two about my thoughts on Jack in the Hand. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.